Hey, thanks for joining me today for a quick minute. Let's talk about culture, okay? Here's what I believe. I believe that culture you create determines the results you enjoy. So for me, I grew up in Southwest Florida near the Tropicana plants, and I love oranges, I love grapefruit, and a couple weeks ago I was up in northern Indiana doing some work with a client and doing some speaking, and I realized as I was driving, there's no oranges. There's no grapefruit in Indiana as I was driving through, and I was a little frustrated. Now, that's ridiculous, right? You think, Dennis, of course there are no oranges in northern Indiana. Well, here's the question, why? Well, we all know simply that they don't have the right environment. Okay? And here's what happens, is you can have the seeds of a great organization, but if you don't have the right environment, it's not going to grow those seeds. See, because I could take orange seeds and I could go to northern Indiana, I could plant those orange seeds, but we would never produce oranges. And it's the same way in your organization. You can have the seeds of a great organization. You can have a great marketing plan. You can have all these great things, maybe a great facility. But if you don't have the right culture, it's not going to grow the right things. So here's the reality. The culture that you create, and here's the truth, you create culture. Okay, so the culture you create determines the results you enjoy. So what kind of results do you want? It's all dependent on your culture. Now here's the funny thing about culture, okay, is it is the collective thoughts, feelings, attitudes, beliefs that we as an organization, as a group, all have together. And so what I've discovered working with organizations is there are 3 core questions that you've got to ask when working and creating culture. And so I want to give them to you today. Take them, work them with your team. So here's the first question is, what do I need from you? See, because many times our behavior is driven by our needs. The problem is that we're not even clear on what those needs are. Okay, so the first question is, as a leader, what does a leader need from their team? And so you've got to be able to answer that and get clarity on what that need is. But also, that's not it. Your team has got to answer, hey, what do you need as a team from the leader? What do you need from me? Because many times it's just a needs negotiation. And then the third question you've got to answer is, how will you resolve conflict? Because the reality is that if you get 2 people together in a room, 10 people together in a room, 50 people on a team, 100 people on a team, you're going to have conflict, okay? You're going to have conflict. And the teams that do conflict the best, that do it the healthiest, are the ones that have the greatest speed of execution. And it's all about execution, isn't it? It's not just about strategy, because we can have the greatest strategy, but if we can't execute, it really doesn't matter. So listen, take this, use it with your relationships. Listen, you can use this with your spouse today. You know, what do you need? What do I need from you? What do you need from me? And how are we going to resolve conflict? Because listen, culture is created every day, and it's up to you as the leader to create the culture, because the culture you create determines the results you enjoy.